Morning everybody, welcome to today's class. Thank goodness the sun is shining and not pouring rain today. Let's get started. So we'll start with a little stretch. The same as we did yesterday. I'll stay here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to interlace the fingers, curving in the arms, bringing them forward. You're just going to drop your head and round those shoulders, pull that tummy in and back. Nice deep breaths. Release those hands, standing up nice and tall. Take those hands behind you, interlace the fingers, pull the arms back. Just leaning back, lifting that chest up. Do each one of those one more time. Interlace those fingers in front, rounding those arms, dropping the head, we hold. Release those hands, bring them behind, pulling the arms back. And releasing there, we're going to go onto our back from the mat. So as you're on your back, you want to take those knees bent, feet on the floor. Arms rest down beside you. You should be looking up towards the ceiling, and we're in neutral, so you've got a little curve underneath the lower back. Just big enough to be able to get part of your hand underneath there. And we're going to take nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through a pursed lip. Breathing in and out. So as you're taking your nice deep breaths in and out, I want you to think about the position of those hips. So I want to try and keep those hips nice and level. Imagine you've got a torch on each hip bone and they're shining up parallel to one another onto the ceiling. Keeping the upper body nice and relaxed. Shoulders away from the ears, the chest is nice and open. You want that weight evenly placed through your feet. So big toe, little toe and heel. Just gently tightening in the tummy. The next time that you breathe out, I'd like you to tuck the pelvis under, so you're flattening your lower back into the floor. Take a nice deep breath in to stay. Exhale to release out to neutral. Tucking under to flatten. Holding. And releasing back out. So as you're tucking under, you want to try and find a nice strong flat back position. And we want to use the pelvis and the tummy muscles to move. So try and avoid squeezing your bottom. On this next one, we're going to hold our flat back. So we're going to tuck under and hold. So holding that nice strong flat back position, we're going to start tightening the pelvic floor. So as you breathe out, you're going to tighten all the way in with the pelvic floor. Inhale to release. Exhale to tighten. Inhale to release. And we tighten and release. So you're thinking of the sensation of stopping a wee mid-flow. Now as you're tightening, you should feel as though your tummy muscles are working harder and that your back is slightly flatter into the floor. We're going to halve this contraction. So 50% tightening in the pelvic floor as you exhale. Inhale to release. So we still want our upper body to be nice and relaxed, shoulders away from the ears, chest is nice and open. And if you are feeling quite tense in your upper body, we're just going to rotate those palms up to the ceiling. You're pulling your tummy all the way down towards your spine, keeping that weight even in the feet. So remember, big toe, little toe and heel. We're halving one last time. So 20 to 25% tightening. This should feel like a very gentle lifting, something that you could sustain throughout any exercise if you needed to. It's just working in the background. So that flat back position should feel really strong. You're using your tummy muscles and your pelvic floor to help you to stay there. We're going to bring both legs up into a tabletop position. So you want your knees above your hips, shins parallel to the ceiling. And we're going to go into toe taps. You're tapping one toe down towards the mat and you're lifting it back up. Then we're swapping sides, tapping down and lift. Down and lift, tap and lift. So you're keeping your flat back position. So tummy stays pulled down, you're using your pelvic floor. Nice and tightened. Deep breaths. 2 more on each side, tapping down and lift. Down and lift. Last one on each side, tap down and lift, tap down and lift. From there, you're going to hug those knees into your chest, and then we'll be on our hands and knees for your stretch for your back. Grab yourself a drink if you need one. So from here we're going to go onto our hands and knees with the hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Your tummy is nice and tightened. As you breathe out, we're going to tuck the pelvis under, so we're curving the back, arching the spine, dropping that head. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhale to let the pelvis come back to your start position. Working through the spine. The head lifts. Tucking under, we curve. Arching the back. Dropping the head. We hold. We're releasing out through the spine. And we're lifting up. Excuse me. So we want to get lots of movement through the back. You're working into each section, piece by piece. Just slowing down any areas if they're feeling really stiff or sore. Taking your time to work through each of those sections, vertebrae by vertebrae. Deep breath. So as we're curving the back, and then you're pulling that tummy all the way in. And as we're releasing out through the spine, the shoulders are coming away from the ears. Got two more here. We're tucking under to curve. Arching the back. Dropping the head, we hold. Releasing out through the spine. The head lifts. We've got one more here. We're going to tuck under to curve. Arching the back. The head is dropping. We hold. We're releasing out through the spine. And the head lifts. So from here we're just going to push ourselves back into a shell stretch. Bottom to the feet. Reaching those arms out in front. And then we're going to be on our sides. You can grab yourself a drink if you need one. So as you're laying on your side, take those knees bent, legs on top of one another. The head is resting down. And those arms are nice and long, palm to palm. Your top arm is lifting, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you, and we're twisting away. Holding here to take a stretch, before lifting back up and over to come down palm to palm. The top arm lifts, fingertips point to the ceiling. Take the head with you. We're twisting away. Holding here as we stretch Before lifting back up and over to come down palm to palm. So we want to keep our legs glued together and grounded. So your twist is coming through your waist. Nice deep breaths. The arm is reaching and stretching from the fingertips all the way into your armpit. Allow that chest to become nice and open. We want to look towards that hand for as long as we can. Making sure we've got a good range of movement through the neck. We've got 2 more here. Lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you. We're twisting away. We hold. Before we lift back up and over, then come down palm to palm. Last one here. We're lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you. We're twisting away. We hold. Before we come back up and over to come down palm to palm. From there we're going to swap sides. So you can either roll over to face the other way or change the end of the mat that you're laying at. So again, as you lay on your side, you've got those legs glued together, resting the head down. Taking those arms out nice and long with palm to palm. The top arm is going to lift, fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you as you're twisting away. Holding here to stretch before lifting back up and over to come down palm to palm. The top arm lifts, fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you. We're twisting away. We hold. Then we're lifting back up and over to come down palm to palm. So remember, you want those legs glued together. Excuse me. And grounded. Get this twist through your waist. Nice deep breaths. Stretching that arm from the fingertips all the way into your armpit. Looking at your hand for as long as you can. Let's take 2 more here. We're lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Taking the head with you. We're twisting away. We hold before coming back up and over down to your start position. One more time, lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you. Twisting away, we hold. Before lifting back up and over to come down palm to palm. Take a full body stretch. You can roll onto your back for this if you prefer. And from there we're going to be on our back. So if you're already on your back, then you can stay there. If you'd like a drink, then grab one. So on your back, you're going to find your neutral position again. So knees bent, feet on the floor. You've got that curve under your lower back. Arms are resting down beside you. So you're going to take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to nod the head, chin to chest. Exhale to lift your shoulders from the floor, reach those arms nice and long. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhale to control, back down to the floor. Chin to chest. Lifting up. We hold. Control back down. So we want to be using our tummy muscles to lift us from the floor. Excuse me, my asthma's quite bad today. So you're pulling your belly button all the way down. Use your chin to chest position to try and keep that neck nice and relaxed. So take a nice big nod of the head, then lifting up. Your arms are reaching nice and long to keep those shoulders away from the ears. You're using your pelvic floor. Let's take 2 more here, then change the movement. Chin to chest, lifting up. We hold. Control back down. Chin to chest, lifting up. And we hold, control back down. So from here we're going to add those little pulses in. We did them yesterday, we've done them loads of times before. So you're still chin to chest, then you're lifting from the floor. We're pulsing up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Control back down. Chin to chest, lifting up, we pulse. 2, 3, 4, control back down. You can support the head here if you need to. Hands come behind the head, they're not on the neck. Still take that nod of the head. Pulses the same. So still want to be using your tummy, keeping that pelvic floor nice and tightened. Make sure those shoulders are down. Breathe. We're taking 2 more sets here. Chin to chest, lifting up. We pulse. 2, 3, 4. Control back down. Last one, chin to chest, lifting up. Big pulse. 2, 3, 4. Control back down. From there, hug those knees into your chest. And from there, you're going either onto your front or onto your knees. Grab yourself a drink if you need one. So I'll come a little bit further forward because I'll be on my knees. So if you don't like bearing weight on your knees, you find that uncomfortable, then you can lay on your front. Just a nice long position, hands mat with the palm line with your ears, and you'll do chest lifts. If you're in a knelt position, hopefully you can all see me here, you're going to have those knees underneath your hips, legs out behind you. If you suffer from cramp, then just tuck those toes under. That applies if you're laying on your front as well. Get those shoulders nice and relaxed. And remember to think about if you've got that overarch in your spine, to tuck under to lose a little bit of that if you can. Doesn't matter if not, it's not the end of the world. It just will stop putting as much pressure through your lower back if you do suffer from that. Little chin to chest position, keeping that neck nice and relaxed. From here, as you breathe in and tighten the tummy, we're going to be leaning back. Exhale, squeeze the bottom to come back up. Your lean is through those knees, leaning back, lifting up. Leaning back, lifting up. So my movement here is quite small, as you can see if you are watching. Doesn't matter if you want to make that movement bigger or keep it nice and small. You just want that tummy tightened and that squeeze through the bottom. Really use the squeeze and the exhale to drive yourself forwards. Let's take 2 more here, then we'll add some movement in. Leaning back, squeezing forwards. Leaning back, squeezing forward. So now we're going to add in a little roll of the shoulders. This is the same if you're laying on your front. So you can take a nice big roll back of your shoulders, and that should bring your arms behind you. From there, you're going to lean, breathe in, exhale, relax those arms. Big roll of the shoulders, reaching back and lean, squeeze and lift. Big roll of the shoulders, and we lean back. Squeeze and lift. So I'm keeping mine nice and small. You can make yours a little bit bigger if you want to. Just remember, you're taking that lean from the knees, not the hips. We've got 2 more here. Big roll of the shoulders, reaching back. The last one, big roll of the shoulders, lean and lift. From there, coming onto your mat, I want you to take a shoulder stretch back, to the bottom to the feet, and reaching those arms out in front. From there, you're going to be on your backs for the 100. You can grab yourself a drink if you need one. As you come onto your back, you want those knees bent, feet on the floor. And we're going to be in a flattened position. I'm going to talk you through everything first, and then we'll go all together. So you're in a really nice strong flat back position. So you're tucked under, you're losing that gap underneath the lower spine. From there, as your legs lift, I want you to lengthen them. So whenever I get you to lengthen your legs, I always say the same thing. It's the longest position that you can maintain. It doesn't matter if there's still quite a big bend through those legs. The longest position that you can maintain so that you can complete the entire exercise. So I don't want you to have really straight legs and then have to give up halfway through. I'd rather the legs were quite bent and you manage to finish the exercise. You can work on lengthening them at any point. So they'll be lifted and they'll be long. From there, you're going to nod the head, lift the shoulders. Those arms are long and your palms are facing the floor. You'll be beating your arms up and down for your 100 repetitions. 5 as you breathe in, 5 as you breathe out, which I will count for you. So your arms will look like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Then those hands come behind the head for support. Legs still lifted here. And we're going into 2 sets of 8, taking sit-ups towards those legs. From there, your legs stay lifted, but your upper body relaxes down. And you're going to go into crisscrosses with your legs. So the legs are going to crisscross for 2 sets of 8. If your knees are bent, you're crisscrossing from the lower leg. And then from there, relax, hug those knees in. So we'll go all together. I'll count you through and talk you through everything so you know what's going on. Find your strong flat back position. Really tuck under, lose that gap. When you're ready, lift those legs up. Lengthen them as much as you can. We're going to nod the head and lift the shoulders. Taking those arms nice and long. Here we go. We inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tummy in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pelvic floor. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tummy in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Staying here, take those hands behind the head. Your legs should still be lifted. You're going into your sit-ups for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5. Tummy's in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your head down. Your arms come down beside you. Your legs are still long. They're going to crisscross for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last set. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax down there. Take those legs, hugging them in. And then bring yourself into a long position and give those legs a nice shake out. From there, we're going to come up to a seated position for our stretches. Grab a drink if you need one. So you can sit on a slightly elevated, in an elevated position like I am if you prefer, on a block or on a step or something like that. If you've got it or if you've got an arc barrel, fantastic, use that. Take those legs out nice and long and in front of you. We want them to be nice and close together. So mine are far apart to accommodate for my growing belly. Yours can be nice and close together unless you need them far apart as well. We're going to start sitting up really nice and tall, and we're going to do a roll down through the body. So if you can either touch the floor beside you with your legs, that's great. It's up to you which one of those you want to do, whichever you're comfortable with. From your nice tall position, you're going to start to drop the chin towards your chest, rounding those shoulders to roll down. Start to walk your hands either along your legs or beside them, as far as you can go. From there, you're just going to hang down and hold that stretch. If you want to really increase the stretch you're getting through your calves, then I want you to flex your feet. And that should really fire up behind the lower leg. You're just dropping that head. Nice deep breaths. And just keep those nice deep breaths. If you can, just try and get those hands a little closer to the feet. From there, we're going to walk those hands back up the legs. Restack the spine to sit up nice and tall. From there, we're going to take our legs into a wide position. So a wide position is just your personal preference. So that could be super, super wide if you're really flexible and open to those hips. And if you're not, it can be quite narrow like I am here. So don't try and force those legs out really wide if that's uncomfortable for you. Exactly the same thing we're going to do, but we're going to take the hands through the middle. So you're going to be touching the floor here and walking down the middle of the legs at whatever width they are away. My legs can be slightly bent just for my own comfort. Yours should be relatively straight if you can, with that added flex foot if you want to increase the stretch in the leg. So start sitting up nice and tall, same as we did before. Chin to chest. Start to roll yourself down. Walking those hands forwards. And holding a nice stretch. So wherever that stretch is, remember you're dropping the head. So you're looking down towards the floor. And you're taking nice deep breaths. From here, just try and take those hands a little further forwards if you can. Staying in your drop down position, I want you to take your hands across onto the legs. And this doesn't matter if your hands are on the knees, the shins, or the ankles, or the feet. Just bringing your arms into that wide position, opening up in the chest. As you're still taking this stretch. And just use your hands to walk up the legs. Restack that spine. Give your legs a little shake out, especially if you've had them in quite a wide position. And then bring them into your frog pose. So soles of feet are together, knees are wide. So we're not going to do our quick bounces, we're going to go into our slow pushes down. So with those wide legs, you're going to think about pushing your knees as far down as you can, so really opening up and then relax. You're probably not going to be able to see my legs moving very much in the video. Pushing down and relax. Pushing down and relax. I feel cold all of a sudden, so while I'm doing this, I'm going to put my jumper on. Push those legs down and relax. So what you're thinking about is as if you've got two weights pressing down on your knees. And you're thinking about really, like I said a minute ago, opening up through the hip socket. So really push and relax. We'll do two more of these. Push and relax. Push And relax. From there, take hold of your feet. Bring your upper body down. And here's where you can use your elbows to push those legs away if you need to. Just holding that stretch. Nice deep breaths. And relaxing there. Good. From there, we're going to be going on to our backs. Grab a drink if you need one. Okay, so on your back, you're going to find a nice flattened position. So, we're going to get really tucked under, flat back position. And then from there, I want you to lift your legs up and get them nice and long. So remember, same as the 100, it's the longest position that you can maintain. It doesn't matter if that still feels really bent at the knees. I just want some length through the legs, okay? Try and get them a little bit longer than tabletop. It's not the end of the world if they're not. From there, your arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. So what we're going to do is, as you breathe out, you're going to go chin to chest, looking towards your knees or lower. And you're going to lift your shoulders away from the floor as if you're reaching up to touch your toes. Inhale to come back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale down. Inhale down. If your neck is really sore, you can either have both hands behind the head as you're lifting up. Both of your legs should be lifted. Or take one hand up, but remember you're reaching through the middle here. Don't start veering off to the side. You want your chin to chest position, keeping that neck nice and relaxed. Tummy and pelvic floor are working together to lift you from the floor. Arms are reaching really long, so don't worry if the knees are bent, as long as those arms are reaching away from you. Breathe. Got two more here. We're lifting up and down. Lifting up and down. Relaxing there. Just hug those knees in. So we're going to stick with the same position through the body. So again, you're going to have those legs lifted in your flat back, so really tucked under. Leaves that gap. Legs are lifted and they're lengthening. Again, those hands are reaching up towards the ceiling if you can. This time as you breathe out, nodding the head, looking to the knees and lower, you're going to reach over towards the outside of one leg. Stay close to that leg, so you're touching it if you can. And come back down, swapping sides. And down. Reach over and down. So here, if you need to support the head, take opposite hand to leg as you reach over, swapping sides each time. Still have that chin to chest position. Tummy stays nice and tight and the arms are reaching. Whether it's both arms or just the one, get them as long as you possibly can. Put two more on each side. You're reaching long and centre. Reaching long and centre. Last one on each side. Reach long and centre. Reaching long and centre. Hugging those knees into the chest. So we're still going to be in our flat back position, but this time your head is going to stay resting down on the mat. So you're just looking up towards the ceiling as you're resting down on the floor. Your legs are lifting up just into tabletop this time so you can keep them bent. Remember, you've got knees above the hips, shins parallel to the ceiling, and you can challenge that by taking those knees away from the body but keeping the shins parallel. Your arms are also going to reach up towards the ceiling. So we're going to do what's called a dead bug. I don't know if I've done this one in lockdown. I certainly haven't done it recently. Some people do a lot of fitness. It can jump across the two genres of fitness, PT and this. But I'll talk you through anyway. Hopefully you can visualise what I'm saying, as I can't lift my legs up. So legs are in tabletop, arms are lifted. What you're going to do, and if you've never done this before, you might want to watch, is take one arm back, so it's pointing towards the wall behind your head. And your opposite leg is going to start to travel away from your body. So you should always have one hand and one knee pointing to the ceiling, and one hand and one knee pointing away from your body. You're coming back in and you're swapping sides. Opposite arm, opposite leg, away and in. Now obviously my feet are sliding along the floor because I'm not allowed to lift both of my legs off of the floor at the same time. Your leg doesn't have to be coming all the way down towards the mat. It can stay a really small movement. Same with the arms. All I want is for both of them to move away at the same time. Opposite. Loads of you are going to want to take your arm that should be lifted. If you watch here, this arm, loads of you want to drop it to your hip. Don't do that. Keep it lifted. So what you're working on is the diagonal line across your body. It's really difficult when you're not bearing weight to move on your arms or your legs, to move them diagonally together. That's quite a difficult manoeuvre for your brain to get around. I'm going to sneeze. Nice deep breaths. Shouldn't be holding your breath here. This is your first time doing these and you're really struggling to get that movement. Don't panic. I have people who've done classes with me for years who still struggle with these, so it's not a problem. Let's take two more on each side. We're reaching away and in. Reaching away and in. Last one each side. Reach away and in. Reaching away and in. From there you can relax. Take a full body stretch or hug those knees in, whichever you prefer. Sorry, I feel like I've got a sneeze trapped in my nose, so I might sneeze at any random time, I'm afraid. From here, we're going to come on to our hands and knees. So we're going to do a little bit of movement, just isolating on the legs. We did this one yesterday. Grab a drink if you need one. As you come onto your hands and your knees, think about whether you struggle to bear weight through the wrists, because you can do this one on the forearms, and obviously we've got knee lifts and planks coming up. So if you are on long arms, your hands are underneath your shoulders. If you're on your forearms and you want your upper arm underneath your shoulder, knees are obviously underneath your hips. So we're going to be reaching one leg out nice and long and away. You're going to lift it from the floor. I'm not going to do that, it's too painful. And then it comes back down and in. Staying on that same side, reaching long, you lift, down and in. Make sure that leg is long before you start to lift it from the floor. Nice deep breaths. Lift, down and in. Keeping the tummy really tightened. Two more on this side, reaching long. Lift, down, and in. Last one. Reaching long, lift, down, and in. If you need to today, you can have a little stretch back. If not, we're going straight onto the other side. So again, you're reaching long. You're going to lift that leg off of the floor. Bring it back down. And in. Reaching long. We lift, come down and in. Long, lift, down and in. Deep breaths here. Lift, down and in. 2 more here, reach long, lift, down and in, reach long, lift, down and in. Take a shoulder stretch back, so your bottom to your feet, and roll those wrists out if they're feeling sore. So we're staying on our hands and knees for our knee lifts. Again, you can be on your forearms here if you need to, or long arms if you prefer. Tuck those toes under. As you breathe out, I want you to pull your tummy all the way in, pressing into your hands and your feet. Your knees are lifting up from the floor, just an inch or so. Inhale down. Exhale, I want you to lift those knees and down. We're lifting up and down. So I want you to think that your tummy muscles are lifting you. Your hands and your feet are there for support. Lifting up and down. Lifting up and down. Just wanting to make sure that you're not dropping that head or lifting it too far up. So if you're on long arms, you're looking past those fingertips. If you're on your forearms, just looking straight down to the mat. Four more here. We're lifting up and down. Lifting up and down. Last 2, we're lifting up and down. We're lifting up and down. Relaxing there. Roll through those wrists. Good, okay, we're going to go into our plank. So if you joined in yesterday, you'll know what's coming. If not, then doesn't matter. So we're going to do our normal chest press up. So these are where your hands are underneath your forearms. If you really suffer from that sore wrist issue, you're just going to be doing a normal plank on your forearms. I want you to remember the work we put in that week before I was away on just doing a really nice, strong, long hold plank. And you want that position before you go into your press-ups. So bring your upper body towards the front of your mat. You're going to be stepping one leg back behind you and your weight is going to be in those toes. The other leg comes to join it, make sure they're nice and close together. And then you're going to tuck your bottom under to get that nice long line. From here is where you're going to bend your elbows, straighten them, and relax. And when you're ready, you're going again, stepping back, tucking under. We're going to bend, straighten, and relax. You're going to keep going there. So what I want you to think about is finding that strong plank position first. So make sure that you're in a nice long line. You're squeezing your bottom and you're pulling your tummy in. You need to remember that your press up or your push up is the upwards part of that movement. So only bend your elbows as much as you can, then lift yourself back up. Because it's a push or press up. It doesn't matter how deep that is. It's more important that your body is in this correct alignment and it's small than you've got a really bad position like here and you're bending all the way down. Because then you're going to build on strengthening and improving that press up rather than just attaching a bad form into your muscle memory that your body will then struggle to get rid of. Okay, keep those hips slightly lifted. It will stop you from putting pressure through your lower spine. Tummy should be constantly pulled in. Your bottom should be nice and squeezed. Okay, so you're going to step back, tucking under. Bend those elbows, straighten them, and relax. You can take a little moment in between the press-ups if you need to, in between each movement. And just go when you're ready, stepping back, long line. We're going to bend, straighten, and relax. We're going to take 2 more here. Stepping back, stepping back, nice long line. You're going to bend, straighten and relax. You've got one more here. Step back, tucking under. We're going to bend and straighten, relaxing there. Coming into your shell stretch back. Take a nice roll through those wrists if they're feeling sore. And then when you're ready, come up to a seated position. So we're just going to do a little stretch with the neck. Some people I find add a lot of tension to their neck when they're doing press-ups. So we'll just do what we sometimes do at the beginning, our little stretch out before we finish. So just tilt that head over to the side. Take one hand onto the ear and reach the other arm away. Control that breathing if you're feeling a little bit out of breath. Swap sides, we're tipping over, hand across, reaching away. One more time on each side, we're tipping over, hand comes across, reach away. Last time, tipping over, hand across, reaching away. From there, either come into, stay in your seated position, knelt or standing, completely up to you. And we're going to go into a nice shoulder roll back. And forwards. Take those arms out to the side, we're going to lift all the way up. We're stretching over. Back to the centre, we're lifting up. Stretching over. Into the centre, one more time each side, lifting up. Back to the centre. Lifting up. And relaxing there, that's the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining me for today's session. I'm going to do the same as what I did the week before I went away, which is waffle on the same thing at the end of each session this week. So I'm really sorry that if you've already watched yesterday's class. Today marks the, or not today, this week marks the 4-week countdown of the end of my classes. So this is week 4, then we're going to 3, 2, 1, and I'm finishing at 30 weeks. The reason for that is because that will take me up to 30 weeks of pregnancy. I'm already really uncomfortable in quite a lot of the exercises, and actually more so than moving between exercises. And so that's why I've made that decision to stop at 30 weeks, which I think is quite reasonable. We've already done, I think, 17 or 18, 19 weeks, which is brilliant, and loads of you have stuck with me, and I really appreciate that. The company and the motivation for me to do it as well. If you were already an existing client of mine before we went into lockdown, then you will receive a message from me either via text, WhatsApp, email, however I usually correspond with you, between now and next week. I'm currently in the middle of revising for an exam I've got on Sunday, my massage level 4, which I should have done back in March. So I'm just having to spend a bit more time reviewing those things and seeing how I can adapt what I'm doing now I'm pregnant, as that will affect me being able to pass my exam. So I'm not sure when that'll be. I'll try and sort it out for tomorrow, but it might be that it's early next week. If you usually receive a message from me via email, keep an eye on your junk box, because I think a lot of people have been having my emails going to junk, seeing as I've not been sending as many out. My domain name hasn't been as active, and so if you usually receive emails, check your junk folder. If you don't receive a message from me by next week, the end of next week, then send me a message, prompt me, because it might be that for some reason you've been left off the list, and I'm really sorry if that is the case. If you're a new person who's just joined during lockdown, then you don't need to really do anything. All of my videos are going to remain up for like the foreseeable future, and I probably will pick a few up here and there if I'm doing a little stretch out or once I've had the baby, to sort of give myself some motivation to do it. But for anybody who's got any questions about anything, I will still be at the end of the phone, Facebook, email, however you get hold of me, and would like something to do, especially while I'm still pregnant and the baby's not actually here. So if you need any advice or anything like that, then feel free to contact me. I'm still going to be around, and if I don't get back to you straight away, it's just that I'm busy and I'll get around to it when I can. I'm going to stop waffling for today, and I'll have another waffle tomorrow. Enjoy today. It looks sunny but windy, and I'll see lots of you the rest of the week, I hope. Take care. Bye bye.